It's a double-header topic, so intertwined and related. Surrender, and you cannot drive away darkness with darkness. You can only drive out darkness with light. Light and darkness have existed since eternity. The contrast of good and bad, likes and dislikes, dark and night will continue to exist in future. Couple of examples. In the dark of night, one can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. They cannot drive away the darkness of night. Only by lighting a light, only by turning on the light, can they drive away the darkness, or by waiting until the sunrise. At dawn, as the sun begins to rise, the darkness automatically disappears, very gently, very clearly. It just does its job, which is shining light. It doesn't hate darkness. It doesn't fight with darkness. The sun is just being itself. Because of the passage of time and the rotation of the earth around its axis, the sun just dawns or appears at the location that you're in. Darkness is driven away by light. One can look at darkness as the absence of light. What is darkness? It's nothing but absence of light. What is black color? It is nothing but the absence of light. It just doesn't reflect the light back. Black color is nothing but 100% absorption of light and 0% reflection of the light back. It receives but doesn't give. So the secret of light, or the secret of life, is in giving. The entire purpose of life, or the entire purpose of light, is doing seva, is to give. Depending upon what we give, naturally, easily, effortlessly, that is how our life will be colored. Red color means it is reflecting the frequency of light related to the red spectrum, or the frequency in which the red color resides. Giving off or providing service to society in terms of education or health or water or food or clothing or shelter or whatever else you have to offer. Doing it lovingly, completely, without selfishness. How does it relate to surrender? Surrender is letting go. Surrender is the opposite of holding on to something. Surrender is the opposite of attachment. Just the way the darkness only receives and absorbs and doesn't reflect back, doesn't give back, because it is afraid. It may be afraid. I don't want to lose. I'm afraid to lose. It could be any number of reasons, but generally speaking, hoarding is a sign of fear that I don't have enough. Or what if I don't get it? We all know that that doesn't take place. In the animal or plant kingdom, they don't hoard. Animals or plants or birds or insects, they don't hoard. They may prepare themselves for a winter or the next day, but they fully depend on this faith, and they can rely on the divine providence to provide for them. That comes into the territory of manifestation too, isn't it? But right now, let's stay focused on the two things: surrender and darkness. In my life cannot be driven away by darkness. It can only be driven by light. Hate cannot be driven by hate. Hate can be driven out only by love. So perhaps the focus should also not be in driving out hate or darkness. Perhaps should the focus be on bringing in light in our life, or infusing our life with love? When there is love in your heart, there is God in your heart. The one word to live by is love, pure unselfish love. When there is love in your heart, there is God in your heart. So I love me is really the Maha Mantra of our times right now. When I love me, I love God in me. I love everything about me. I don't hate anything about me. So whatever I'm hating inside me, I'm not hating that. Instead, I'm just all-inclusively loving myself. When I love myself just the way I am believing and trusting and depending on the divine providence. That God is in me, around me, above me, below me, always with me. And I am giving hug to myself, to my God self. And I say, I love me. I am saying, I love God, me, my true self. And I'm also saying, I, my true self, God self, loves me, my individual self. It is like a two-way hug when I hug myself. When I say, I love me, it's a two-way hug. It's like saying, I love God, and God loves right back at me. What is the need to surrender? There is nothing to surrender. It is love. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Saying no to something becomes easy when I have said yes to something. Saying yes to what you love makes it easy for you to say no to what you don't love. Surrendering and letting go of what you don't want becomes easier or easy when you're loving your life, when you're loving yourself, when you're loving God, when you're inviting God in your life, when you are letting God love you. Am I letting God love me? Do I feel worthy enough of God's love? Do I feel that I'm eligible and capable of loving God? Is it okay for me to love God? Have I given myself permission? It is just that. It is me allowing myself to be myself. I'm not responsible for anyone or anything else except myself. And even that, the highest responsibility and right that I have is of me being myself and me loving myself and me accepting myself just the way I am. Me embracing myself. Whatever it is, and honoring myself as myself at this moment, because that is the beginning, that is the journey, and in the end, you find nothing but yourself. Start the day with love, spend the day with love, end the day with love. This is the way to love, and this is the way to live life. So perhaps the purpose of life is to love myself. Perhaps the purpose of life is to serve. Because when I hold on to something, it's dark, it's black. But when I'm willing to share, it's all light. Expansion is life. Expansion is love. Love truly is selfless. And love is the ultimate frontier, is the ultimate currency of life. Love is what drives everything from cell growth, cell division, whether it is the so-called sunrise, or whether it is the rotation of the earth around its axis, whether it is rotation of the earth around the sun, whether it is the existence and the expansion of the universe, whether it being me. I am the perfect example. Me being on earth is an example of love. I exist on this planet because of love between my parents. Otherwise, I would not have existed. I am the physical manifestation of an example of love between my parents. I am a product of love. I am love. I am driven by love. The fuel of my life is love. What do you want to surrender? There is no need for surrender when there is love. I love me. I am love. I am light. I am life. I am always expanding, always expanding, always expanding in love and in service. I love me.